Welcome to another edition of In the Weeds with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's number one casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games, with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. Welcome back to another In the Weeds interview. This week's guest, the all-time leading passer in SEC history, Mr. Aaron Murray. How we doing, man? It's always good to see you.
What's going on? I wish I was near a damn casino. They only got any of those in Georgia, unfortunately. So I can't have a good time like you boys do.
Well, I'll tell you, Tennessee fans flooded that casino for
I
like
bet.
3 days.
Oh,
Good for
I
them.
love me.
Now,
I love me a good casino, boys. And I don't know the closest one to me. I think in the Carolinas, maybe my neighbors are retired, so they go gambling like once every 2 weeks, and they swear they always win somehow. Like they never lose. So I'm gonna have to join them
Yeah,
one of these weekends when
they're
I get off from the two kids under four, and my wife lets me go gamble randomly since that will never freaking happen.
you know you're welcome at the house anytime, buddy. I'll get the guest room ready. Now, you've been doing an awesome job on the Snaps YouTube page. You and T Bob are two of the most entertaining people in college football media. But the new stuff you're doing breaking down the quarterback play in college football is some of the best YouTube content I- I've seen. And it's actually extremely helpful for me because you educate me on like the area of the game that I probably know the least about, like route concepts and progressions and all of that. So it's been very helpful for me. And you've looked at a lot of OU.
Hmm.
So that's why I reached out. And I just wanted to start here, Aaron. You've been breaking down Jackson Arnold. You broke down Michael Hawkins when he got into the Tennessee game, but you've seen pretty much every snap of OU's offense this year. What are your general thoughts about what OU is doing offensively right now?
Yeah, I think I'm not as big of an issue more with the play calling as the players. At the end of the day, I think you have to realize as a coordinator, at times you're a little bit handcuffed with the personnel you have, and I don't know the whole history of the OU offense dating back year and year after that. So like I know you guys have seen a lot more than I have compared to just really diving into it this year doing these breakdowns. But the thing that jumps off the page to me is less of why was this called or what's going wrong here? Because there's other games that I've broken down. Like I broke down Auburn a couple weeks ago, and there were some things that you scratch your heads like, are you teaching the players to do this? Are you not getting through to them, or is this the actual play design? Perfect example. Auburn 2 weeks ago, they're running a curl flat concept to the backside, and the running back is sitting down right where the linebacker is, or the flat defender is. He's not getting any kind of width, so that linebacker can cover essentially a curl route, and he can cover the running back. You create no sort of separation or stretch on the defense. So I'm like stuff like that. I scratch my head. I haven't had that much moment of scratching my head watching Oklahoma of like why was that called or what was done. At times the offensive line, the way they protect certain things of are they not being taught how to squeeze properly versus like a 5-man pro when a linebacker comes, little things like that where it's either a miscommunication error or the way they've taught. But when it comes to like overall route running or concepts, I lean more of when I watch Oklahoma of like it's more user error, of like player error, because there's plays to be made. There's plenty of plays to be made, and I think there's some mistakes that are had that are just like the interception, for goodness sakes. There's three guys there. That's not a coach saying throw that football when that route's covered. That is clearly on the quarterback there. And maybe it's you didn't rep it enough to where in practice you might have repped it 3 times and every time he's wide open. And maybe it's your fault for not repping it where he's covered and the quarterback has to check it down. Like maybe that's your fault. I don't know. But like I said, I think it's more to me the skill is just not there at any level at OU. Like there isn't the dominant offensive line. The quarterbacks are young. I think the receivers are just okay. I think the running backs are just okay. So to me, like as a coordinator, there's not much you can do when there isn't one position that is just uniquely gifted right now on that side of the football.
Well, whenever you've watched Jackson Arnold, maybe before we get into talking about some of the decision making in the previous game, what do you like about his general makeup, like his throwing motion, some of just the physical traits? What are some of the positives that he brings?
I think for both guys, him and Michael, there is a sense of um, willingness to be physical, to run at times a little bit too much. Like you're not trying to, Michael, when at the goal line, you as a quarterback, you're taught certain times, okay, give up your body at the goal line, give your body in a third or fourth down situation if you get the first down. At times, I felt like Jackson was a little bit too careless, but like both those guys want to win. Both those guys are not afraid to go out there and leave it on the line. I think you can earn a lot of respect in the locker room by having that kind of mentality. I think attribute wise, I think he's pretty darn good. I think he's a good thrower. I think mechanic wise, I really have no issues with the way he throws a football or from the lower half to upper half. I think to me, it's just a young quarterback making bad mistakes, and that's it. A guy that has not played a lot of football, a guy that I'm sure has incredible expectations, a quarterback that heard all offseason that Dylan Gabriel was forced out of the building, so you can come in there, and he's going out there without a very good offensive line, trying to make plays and trying to press a little bit too much. So to sit back and say like, okay, after 4 games of evaluating Jackson Arnold that he's not a good quarterback and that he doesn't deserve, to be this 5-star caliber or this elite quarterback, I think is kind of crazy. There's not enough tape out there to judge him one way or the other, and there's not enough good around him to fully give him the opportunity to excel. But like I said, from what I've seen, mechanical wise, to throwing the football to running the football, everything's there. Honestly, to be a really good quarterback, it really is. And I haven't seen him throw live, so it's hard to judge like arm strength when you're watching the tape. But I think I've seen enough throws on tape to say that he can make all the throws you want as a quarterback in the SEC.
Can you, how do you become a better decision maker as a quarterback? Is it because that's clearly been the issue for
Mhm.
Jackson Arnold, and it's the reason that he got benched in the Tennessee game, and it's the reason that Michael Hawkins is going to start at Auburn. Is that like how do you improve that? Is it just you got to go out there and play and make your mistakes, or is it film study? Like in your experience, like how do you improve your decision making at that position?
I think it's you got to make your mistakes, just like anything. It's just like offensive line play. You don't squeeze a certain protection, or you don't Roger or Larry a certain protection. You get a 4-man slide,
By
which
the
I've seen
way, you're
Oklahoma.
talking about Roger and Larry. I don't, and correct me if you've seen. I don't think OU's quarterbacks redirect protections.
No, no, no. I'm saying from like an offensive line perspective, like we
No, I'm
all
just
make mistakes and we have to go and correct them. But like it would be nice if the quarterback could see some of that and like Roger,
I
Larry,
just
and
don't. What I'm
and move
saying is I
protection.
don't think OU does it. I don't think he
Oh yeah.
has.
Well, he's young. Like I didn't really have that my redshirt freshman year, the ability to go out there and start making all these checks. I had Ben Jones, who was a 3-year starting center, and he made all the checks. It wasn't until like my sophomore, junior, senior season where I had free reign to do what the hell I wanted to do when it comes to checks. Like that takes time. Like right now, he's just trying to execute a play. He's not out there trying to redirect traffic and redeclare the mic. Like that comes with seeing it, doing it, going back and watching the tape and saying, if I would have done this, I would have been protected. Hey, this defensive end is like 4 yards outside. He's not coming based on number count. Let me move my offense line to the right. Like stuff like that takes time and practice. But I think it is that. It's just going out there and unfortunately making mistakes, going back and checking the tape and fixing it. Like I'm looking at some of my notes right now. I say double slants on both sides, one play. And you want to take free access when you get it. You don't want to throw slants into a press corner unless you have an AJ Green out there. I say AJ because I had AJ Green out there. Unless you have an All American receiver out there that you know is going to win 1-on-1 against press coverage, why would you not just take the free access to the right where you know the timing is going to be correct, the route's going to be on the correct distance, and you can take your drop and just throw it? Instead, he goes to the side with a press corner. The guy gets jacked up, and the corner's on top of it, and it's an incompletion. It's like you go back and watch that and say, oh, duh, maybe I should have thrown it to the guy that's free access. Like that only makes sense. So like those are the mistakes you make. Then you go back and watch the film, and then you go hopefully correct it the next time.
Yeah, and you mentioned this because of what's surrounding him. It is not a very good environment to learn in. Is there's zero margin for error, and our the background of this offense is tempo. We're not going all that fast this year, but I feel like, and maybe this is, college wide, that the pressure to go fast has everyone like just instead of slowing down a second and taking a peek and doing a little bit of a number count, it's like the sport has prioritized how quickly can you snap the ball before anything else.
Well, I think too nowadays the beauty of like what these young quarterbacks have the chance to do compared to like what I had the chance to do is they get to communicate with the coach in the headset in their helmet. So if I'm an OC with an inexperienced quarterback that doesn't have the all Americans around him to help him out a little bit, I don't want to flood him for information because like the last thing you want to do is him thinking about a million things as he's trying to take the snap. But like utilize that time to give a couple pointers. Like not just say, hey, here's the play, go snap it right away, but like, hey man, like here's the play. And if you get free access, take the slant. Oh, we're gonna take this shot on a somewhat receiver sneak going from left to right the first pick. Hey, if it's not there, take the check down. Don't force it. Like little reminders like that now they can get in their helmet that I didn't get. It was just like, hey, here's the play. We repped it all week. It was wide open. I threw a touchdown 4 times against a scout team, so it's going to work in the game. So I'm just going to take my drop and just heave it because he's going to be open. No, like I can get a reminder now, like, dude, if it's not there, take the check down. If it's not there, take the check down. They can get these tips. So, like, I don't know what the communication is with the OC or whoever's calling the plays into Jackson's helmet, but you can slow it down. I think it is beneficial for these young quarterbacks to kind of take that breather, get that last second little nugget, especially going into Auburn this weekend, a place that's going to be hostile, it's going to be loud. You need to find a way to give little tips here or there.
More with Aaron coming up. But first,
Oh, you tailgaters, listen up. We are now officially in the premium conference of college football, and you expect a premium product on the field and on the grill. That's why you need Didier Ranch's steak burgers to take your tailgate to the next level. Proudly raised in Oklahoma for over 120 years. Premium beef this good is hard to come by. Go to DidierRanch.com. That's DIDIER ranch.com. Use promo code Oklahoma15 for 15% off your order. Didier Ranch. Tradition plays better and tastes better.
were you surprised that Arnold got pulled in the Tennessee game with what you saw on tape?
I was. Listen, like as we're doing this, I'm just like rereading my notes as we're talking, just to like kind of think of some of the big time plays that he messed up. And like I would say it wasn't a great game, and the mistakes were bad. But overall, like to tell me that like he deserved to be benched for the way he played, I would say unless like mentally you could tell on the sideline that like he was having one of those moments that he needed himself to get out, be taken out. I, and I don't know what Michael Hawkins Jr. looked like in practice. Like I don't know if there was some sort of talk within the coaching staff like, hey man, this kid looks really good in practice. He's kicking our scout team's ass.
That talk has been taking place since he stepped foot on campus.
So I didn't know that. It's like me as being an outsider watching it. I'm like, I've seen Jackson Arnold make some good plays this season, knowing that he doesn't have the supporting cast. Like I don't like if he's my guy, I'm sticking with him. But if there has been internal talks of like, hey, we really like this Michael Hawkins Jr. kid, and if Jackson is not getting it done to an elite level, we're going to give this guy at least an opportunity just to see what he has with live bullets, then I understand that. But like at first I was like, what the hell are we doing here? But I will say this, like watching Hawkins go out there and execute, and I'll caveat this too. Tennessee's a very aggressive defense, very aggressive. Their DC loves to blitz and bring in a lot of stuff. At that time of the game, not saying like Tennessee took the pressure off, but it was a lot more coverage. It was a lot softer coverage, a lot more free access throws. He made some incredible throws. Don't get me wrong, like that. That out route to the left was an absolute dime. The pass over the middle was absolutely beautiful too. He made some really good plays with his legs and arm. But Tennessee was a little softer at that point in the game too. So take that for what it's worth as well. But I like the kid. I like him. I do. I think he's a very talented guy. I just think Jackson's also very talented, and it's a really crappy situation because someone has to be blamed for it, and obviously everyone always goes to the OC first, and who's second is going to be the quarterback. And Jackson was not playing up to their standard, obviously, and now it's to see what Michael Hawkins could do.
Yeah, are you? I mean, it's one thing to pull a guy out of a game, which, I don't know if you watch the game live, like all of
Mhm.
those happened kind of at once. Those
Yes.
mistakes. It
Kind of
was
an
bad.
avalanche, if you
It, it,
will.
it
It
was.
got ugly fast. It did.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I'm still think I still will go to my grave saying that it was a tight end screen that was called, and that was the play as I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on that lateral, non-lateral handoff, tight end screen. No one wants to block anyone. Quarterback's left out to dry. The receivers lined up like even to the quarterback as he's trying. Like that was chaotic. And to sit back and say like that's the play and the reason why we benched him when the tight end didn't do his job, when the receiver didn't do his job, and the whole thing looked like a complete crap show. And oh no, we're just going to blame the quarterback. It's his fault. It's like, what about his guy? Or what about that guy? Or what about that guy? Or what about that guy? Like, so like to
I,
me, that
I
is
think
somewhat comical. Like that is the reason why he got benched at that moment.
I hear you because yes, it looks like the bad
It
news
was
bears
bad
out
news.
there.
It was bad news bear esque.
It was just whether you want to call it split zone or zone. I call it zone slice when it's the tight end coming across the formation
Yep.
like out of the wing. He's just supposed to hand it off. It's the light box, just hand it off. Like it
I
as
know.
bad as yes, that was the tight end trying to block
But
the end man on the line of
I told you
scrimmage.
that 2 weeks ago. Did I not? You or Cole was like, I think it might have been Cole. Was like, there's multiple light boxes, and even Nico did this in the first play of the game, where he's throwing it versus a 5-man box, and they had 5 offensive linemen plus a tight end, and he's throwing the screen outside, and as Oklahoma tackled it for a no gain. I'm like, what? The beauty of RPOs is all you have to do is be able to count to 6 or 7, and that's all you have to do as a quarterback. Hey, if I have 6 blockers, 5 offensive linemen, and a tight end, and there's 6 guys in the box, I'm going to hand it off. If there's 7, then I have numbers on the outside. I'm going to throw it. It is so easy that like middle school kids run these offenses, high school kids run these offenses. It's not complex. Just count the box. So yes, I agree. These quarterbacks get a little too horny to throw the football when they should just hand the damn thing off and get 5 or 6 yards and then move on to the next play.
No. Well, what I was going to say is like pulled him out in the game, but he also has already said that, and these were his words, barring a disaster, Michael Hawkins is going to start in the Auburn game.
I will say this: at least he's had the week to practice
Yeah.
because when he came in that game, I don't know how big he is in person, but he looked small, he looked young, and I was like, I would be terrified knowing that I'm about to jump into this game down, double digits against a really good defense that loves the pressure. And I've seen my offensive line struggle for 3 straight weeks and feeling that I'm going to get my head off. It's like for a kid that's 18, 19 year old, whatever he is, to have that composure and to play that way he did, I was impressed. Listen, I've played in Jordan Hare unfortunately 3 times because when we changed the structure of the SEC when we added Missouri and Texas A&M,
Yeah,
they rechanged the schedule.
it's why I had to play in Stillwater 3 times.
Yeah, so I had to play at Auburn twice. It was miserable. It was miserable every damn time. The place is loud. The fans are fanatic. It's a great spot. I mean, they do a great job there. So he's going to be in a very hostile environment for his first career start. And now he is looked at as, oh, this 5-star couldn't get it done, but you're going to be the guy to get it done. So go out there and produce for us. So it's a lot of pressure, man. I'll tell you that. It is a lot of pressure to go out there and feel like you're going to have to save this offense that is spiraling down. But I think he's good enough to at least make some stuff happen. He's a super competitive guy. My only words of wisdom to him would be like, just protect yourself and just don't learn from Arnold and just don't make the same silly mistakes of like trying to make things happen when they're not there. Just take completions. That's something that me personally, I had to learn the hard way in my third year in the NFL. And one of the main reasons why I got cut by the Chiefs, I was trying to make things happen that weren't there. At the end of the day, the only thing that Oklahoma fans need to see from Michael Hawkins Jr., the only thing the coaching staff needs to see from him, can you run the offense efficiently? Can you take completions? Can you hand the ball off into light boxes? Can you extend the plays at times? All those little things, the simple things that you've been taught from a young age, can you just do that and take care of the football? And if you do that with Oklahoma's defense, there's a good chance you may get your first career win on the road in the SEC this weekend.
The interesting part is Auburn. Auburn's not the best defense that OU has seen. That's Tennessee, but Auburn is by far the most multiple. They go from like 4 down, playing cover 1, bringing heat, and then the next step they are in the 3 safety drop 8 stuff.
It's like,
and they got all kinds of different. They got really good pressure packages. I assume you've seen some of them, Aaron. Like, what do you think the philosophy will be for Auburn defensively when you got a freshman quarterback starting his first game? But he does,
and it's gonna be loud. It's gonna be loud.
And but he does have excellent mobility. He clearly he's a quick decision maker. But you think they're going to heat him up? You think they'll play coverage?
I would heat him up, and not just because he's young, because the offensive line struggled too. So I think that's like a double whammy right now. You have a quarterback that has not seen a lot, that has never played on the road in the SEC, that has never dealt with 90,000 people screaming and yelling, and an offensive line that's going to also be a little, they're going to be a step slow getting off the ball. So I would be ultra aggressive, and it's not like, Oklahoma right now has any like elite receivers that maybe scare you on the outside that can win one-on-ones if you do decide to go, 5-man pressure, 6-man pressures. Obviously the key is going to be
hold on, man.
Him.
We moved a 6'2" corner to receiver this week. Watch out, buddy. Watch out. He actually he's an incredible athlete. He's an awesome special teams player. But yeah, that's currently where we're at, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why would you not heat them up, knowing that I can play man on man on the outside and feel pretty comfortable about it? So, yeah, I'm sure they'll give them a variety of looks. I'm sure there'll be some really exotic stuff on third down. It goes back to the same thing I just said, though. Like, you look at Auburn on their offense, and they're struggling the same way, and they're struggling at the quarterback position the same way that Oklahoma is. And I would say advantage defense to Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a better defense. So, like, as long as you don't make the catastrophic mistake and turn the ball over in your territory, fumble the football, whatever it may be, Oklahoma's going to have a chance to win this football game. I think from top to bottom, Oklahoma's the better football team. It's just, can you get over the youth of a quarterback on the road first start and him not make those big mistakes? If he doesn't, like I said, y'all are the better team. Y'all the better roster. Y'all the better defense.
Sounds like we have ourselves an under bet this week, huh?
Oh my God, yeah.
Hey, what do you
game and the Arkansas A&M game? I'm definitely. I don't know what the over under on that one is, but I'm definitely taking the under 2 on that one.
Looking at, I know you've been breaking down some of the stuff from Peyton Thorne. It's an interesting situation there at the Auburn quarterback spot as well. Like, what do you think about what's going on there quarterback wise?
Well, I think the other kid's the more talented kid. I know I'm drawing a blank right now, but he's more talented.
Brown?
Hank Brown. He's more talented. Same thing though, just super green. Like, he made some silly mistakes in this last game. The first interception wasn't really his fault. The defender just kind of fell into it and tipped it up and ended up being a pick. But his next 2 INTs were horrendous. I mean, very simple read. You have a hitch on the outside with a seam route. You just got to read the flat defender versus single high. If the flat defender gets vertical, you throw the hitch. If he gets width, you throw the seam. You're reading one guy, and the guy ran to the flat and he threw the hitch route. It's like, what are we looking at here? Like, that was a pretty simple read, my man, and threw it right to him. So, like, he makes some really good throws. He makes some really good plays, but then he makes stupid decisions like that where he just throws it to a defender that's sitting there in the flat for an easy interception. So I I think long term that he's the better guy for Auburn. I think he's the more gifted quarterback. But I think if you want to kind of win now, unfortunately, and you want to maybe give yourself the best chance to win like this weekend versus Oklahoma, you go with Payne. I thought Payne looked really good in the game last week when he came in. He looked more confident. He was letting it rip. The interception obviously was not his fault over the middle. So and he has the ability to run the football a little bit more than what Hank Brown can do. So it'll be interesting to see. I'll say this: like I don't think either quarterback has a very long leash. Whoever is a starter, I think Hughes kind of at his wits with both of them at the moment, and I would not be surprised if maybe we see four quarterbacks play this weekend in this game, which is why I will be very entertained to watch the whole thing.
Hey, real quick, and I know you got to run. How does Auburn rank as a road environment in the SEC?
Oh man, so I never played at LSU. I never had to play in Tuscaloosa.
That's
Obviously, I had to play.
nice.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. As a 4-year starter in the SEC, I never played Alabama besides in the SEC championship game, which is
Wow.
crazy. I played LSU once, but that was in Sanford. But never went to Baton Rouge. I've called the game at A&M, so like I know how crazy that place is. Obviously, you guys do too. Neyland is unbelievable. Like when Tennessee's good, Neyland is terrifying. It is 100+ thousand people, and they are crazy as hell. South Carolina is a great environment. South Carolina is a really fun environment. Like it's a good energy. They got sandstorm going, towels are waving. Um, Auburn is very lively. I would say Auburn's probably top five in the SEC. The fans are there. Like I remember the first time I played in Auburn, and this was Cam's Heisman year, the year they won the national championship. And we got to the stadium, and there's like 20,000, 25,000 people already in the stadium. And like that was when we were just getting there. Like they
Two
opened the
hours
gates up
before game.
early. Yeah, like it was crazy. I was like, damn, there's already people here. And they were already talking crap and giving us crap. And so it's a great environment. It's a great place to be. Very difficult as an opposing quarterback, that's for damn sure.
All we had to do was tell Cam Newton that he was going to be the starter and he was going to come to OU. But we told him that
Mm,
he had to compete with Landry Jones for the job. I should have won a
mm,
national championship.
mm. Y'all are a little bit more talented at Oklahoma than Auburn was too. And the fact that he
Yeah. Yeah.
won a natty at Auburn was
Yeah.
makes it even more special.
Yeah. Talked to him on his official visit and
Yeah, but
everything. I was like, dude,
was it that he had to compete or that y'all didn't have those
uh,
those McDonald's bags?
prob- probably both. Let's be real. Let's probably both. Aaron, you're the man.
Oh,
Your new stuff on YouTube's awesome. Keep it up.
appreciate
I
it.
think a lot of people are enjoying it. Please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you really like this, you can give us a super thanks down. I think it, no, that way. It's down that way. Pretty sure. All right. We'll see you next time here on In the Weeds.